welcome once again to Starla's Art Studio, and today I wanted to do another video with some culinary characters. And with fall already here actually, I wanted to get through these last few summer related fruit. It's been a little bit since I drew these fruity girls, and since I've been doing so much digital drawing, I've noticed my art style has been changing a bit, which you know I've been noticing every other time I do these videos. I've been drawing so much on Instagram especially, so if you don't follow me and you'd like to see some of my recent artworks, you totally should follow me there at Starla's_art_studio. Because of how easy I find it is to make something and upload it there, I'm pretty active on Instagram. I'm probably the most active than most anywhere else, I think. So yeah, you can go follow me there. Okay, now before I get too deep into this, I think I should mention that I am sick right now, so my voice probably sounds a little odd. But I felt bad letting another day go by when I could have been recording, since it was a nice quiet time for me to do so. Okay, so this first one is based on a pear girl I drew back in 2015. I kind of still like this one, but I always wanted to redraw these girlies after learning more about the food they're based on, like where the food came from, some random facts about it, things like that. I actually drew most of the fruit girls wearing dresses, so I've been trying to add some more variety with this. It kind of made me think of the pineapple girl, how I wanted to do her clothes. I was just thinking about giving her a top with some pants, but I ended up just redesigning her dress. Another thing I'm getting used to is trying to make sure I draw dynamic poses for characters. It's kind of weird now because it's almost like I can't even just draw a character standing anymore, because then it's just like, nah, this is too boring. Start again. Which is probably just from me wanting to get over drawing very stiff looking characters like I used to when I was younger, which I guess is helpful and make characters look more interesting. Oh yeah, I think I actually changed my mind about redesigning her dress and changed her outfit into a jumpsuit. But anyways, how about some random facts about pears? Okay, so pears are apparently one of the first fruit to be widely grown and harvested, all the way back in 5000 BC, according to usapears.org. A Chinese diplomat, Feng Li, decided to quit his job to instead grow all kinds of things, including almonds, persimmons, peaches, apples, and pears. Pears were also included in Greek mythology, as in the Odyssey, a long poem about an exciting journey. Pears are referred to as a gift from the gods. I really enjoy Greek mythology. I find it really interesting, all these stories about adventures and trials and clever protagonists. I really enjoy the one about the maze with a minotaur in it. I think mostly the most interesting ones where the protagonist had to be resourceful and outsmart the antagonist were the most interesting. What do you guys think about Greek mythology? But anyways, pears can be grown in quite a few places and have a pretty long storage life. They were quite valued in the early world of trade and exploration. They were often an object in an artist's paintings in the Renaissance and seen as quite elegant. Also, according to usapears.org, there are 10 different types of pears with their own colors, flavors, and crispiness. These types include the green ajou, red ajou, I think I'm pronouncing it right, Barlette, red Barlette, Bosque, Comus, Concord, Forel, Suckle, and Star Crimson. All of these pears vary in sweetness, softness, and juiciness. Just like with apples, these are probably the most useful to know if you wish to use a certain type of pear for a specific recipe. Now, although there are 10 main types of pears, according to tonsoffacts.com, there are over 3,000 varieties of pears in the world. Also, according to the same websites, pears are sometimes called a butterfruit because they're really soft when they're ripe. Kinda squishy. Going back a little bit, talking about Greece again, pears were a pretty important part of their diet, and they were also included in a recipe to help with nausea. Okay, so with the drawing, I really like how she came out. I still do like the original, but back then I just had a couple color pencils and didn't have as many colors available as I do now. I had fun adding in all the little textural designs and specific colors that you'd see on a pear, like little spots on the bottom. It adds a bit of a final touch to it. Alrighty, now that Parisa the pear girl is done, here's the next one. Okay, so the second one is Charlize the cherry girl. Yeah, to be honest, I remember kind of feeling somewhat like I had an art block when I made her, because I felt like I wasn't able to bring that cherry look in her design that well. I just kind of put cherries on her everywhere. And I also think her design was ever so slightly and subconsciously based on Hasure Miku. I don't really know why, but I kind of feel like something about her was in the back of my mind when I first drew the cherry girl. So, to make her character design cute like two little cherries, I decided to make her into two characters. Twin sisters. I thought it would be fitting with the whole typical look of two cherries connected by the stem. I also made them pretty young and small. I wanted to use quite a few circles in their design. One thing I had trouble with for a bit was what to give them to be the stem. Originally I was going to do that thing with the sister's hair being braided into one big braid, but I feel like that wouldn't give the look I was going for. So I thought it'd be a better idea to have them both wearing headphones and them to be connected by a green wire as the stem. Posing them was pretty fun. Most of my characters are starting to look like they're always jumping or moving around. I usually like how they come out though, so that's nice. Alrighty, so how about some cherry facts? According to nwcherries.com, cherries originated somewhere between the Black and Caspian Seas. This is near the Middle East, with the seas surrounded by countries like Turkey, Russia, Iran, Ukraine, and Romania. The cherry's name actually seems to come from a Turkish town called Sirius, if that's pronounced correctly. Turkey is also the world's largest cultivator of said fruit. Cherries were also brought to America from Europe in the 1600s. Cherries seem to have the shortest harvest season of any fruit that comes from a tree, which is about 60 to 65 days. There are also over 1,000 varieties of cherries in the US, but less than 10 are commercially produced and distributed. Some other random cherry facts include that at one point it was illegal to serve ice cream in Kansas on Cherry Pie Day. But doesn't ice cream go well with pie? I guess not cherry pie. On Cherry Pie Day? In Kansas? Cherries were also grown in Greece for hundreds of years. Man, the Greek folk were really into their agriculture. Other facts, sweet cherries seem to reduce inflammation, strengthen the immune system, and help fight certain diseases. One last fact stated by mentalfloss.com is that the cherry pit spitting world record is 93 feet or about 28 meters. Wow, that is far and also an obscure world record. Spitting a cherry pit 93 feet from where you are standing. Okay. Okay, so for the drawing, I was thinking about giving them little dresses, but I wanted them to have more of an active, sporty look. So I knew I wanted to make them look active, but I was debating whether I wanted them to look exactly the same or a little different. I was thinking about doing an interesting mirrored look with giving them the same pose and alternating colors, but I wanted to make them their own characters, so I gave one of them a unique pose, since sometimes when you eat a fruit, you have those that are a little tart and then ones that are sweet. I decided to do that with these cherries. I wanted the one on the left to seem sweet and cheery, while the one on the right seemed tart, energetic, and maybe she could pull a little prank or two if she really wanted. I would probably say cherries are one of my favorite fruit. I really like berries and small fruit in general, especially strawberries and grapes. I don't know, it's kind of nice to have little bite-sized or almost bite-sized sweet things to snack on. Another thing is that I usually like to draw these girls in groups of threes, usually that relate to each other in some way. In my binder, this was one of the last pages of fruit I did, and I couldn't really think of any more that were kind of similar, so I just picked some random fruit. Though I could have said all three fruits had pits in them. Oh, never mind, pears don't have pits. You know, I think it's funny that it's called a pit. As in, you know, with all these cherries and peaches and mangoes, it's called a pit. But a pit also means a hole. But it's this thing that takes up a lot of space in the fruit. But it's called a pit. If you take it out, then I guess you have a pit because it's a hole. But you got a pit by taking out the pit. Man, that's weird. Okay, anyways. So another thing I noticed is that since cherries kind of look like really rounded little hearts, I thought it'd be cool if I added round little cherries as hearts and put it all over their outfit, in places like their overalls, their buttons, their pockets, and their shoes and headphones. Even in their different personalities, I kind of wanted them to look like they liked being together and matching and looking alike, so I gave them the same outfit, but I did invert the colors with them. So yeah, here are the two cherry girls. They're pretty much done. I had fun drawing them. I think the only thing left was just to finish up the shading, coming up with their names, since there's now two of them, and I named them Charlize and Chelsea. Okay, so on to the last one, which is the Peach Girl, Pauline the Peach Girl. Now, to be honest, I actually really liked how she came out when I first drew her. I remember I was particularly proud of her hair. So like the way I would draw them is that I would first sketch them, draw on the lines, and then erase the lines, and then add in the coloring. When I drew Pauline, I really liked the way I did her hair, but I really didn't want to erase it, but I always colored them, so I would always erase it and then color it. But I didn't quite know how to keep the lines and the detail I did in her hair. But I guess it's kind of why it looks darker, because I kept a lot of the graphite there, but it mixed with the color a little bit, so it kind of came out a sort of dull color. Another thing is that I wish I incorporated the shape or the elements of a peach more, since I kind of just gave her a dress with the colors of a peach and then threw 2 peaches in her hair. But I still do kind of like how it came out. It's kind of cute and summery. So if you've been looking at the drawing, I guess you can kind of notice how many times I was redoing the sketch. I don't know why. I just couldn't get a pose that felt right for her. The first time I did it one night when I was just trying to get it done, but I just didn't like it. I don't know why. I mean, she looked okay, but I feel like she could have looked better and just more peachy. I don't know. But yeah, I kept going back and forth and redrawing her until I felt like it looked right. The first one that I drew, I actually did post on my Instagram to show that I was working on it. But again, yeah, I just went back and redrew it a couple times until I liked it. I decided to go with a design that made her seem young, round, and full of energy, really bright and youthful. The original one for both this one and the Pear Girl, they both kind of seem like closer to adults. Actually, most of them seem closer to adults. I think for the redesign for most of these, I kind of made them look younger and more youthful, which I kind of feel like reflects on what my style is doing now. I usually bounce between doing a more realistically proportioned character and more nubby and small rounded limbs, like with the Cherry Girls. It kind of depends, I guess, on the kind of mood I feel like a character has. Like if you look at the Peach Girl right now, her hair is really round and nubby, because I feel like peaches are they have a really soft, kind of squishy sweetness. It's just really nice and fuzzy and warm. So I wanted her to give a vibe of just warmness and energy and happiness, just the brightness of summer. And I also wanted her dress to seem light and flowy, that would kind of flow behind her when she jumped and moved and danced. So how about some peach facts? According to KingspiritOrchard.com, peaches originated in China, and it's considered to be in the rose family. It eventually spread to Persia, where it was very popular, and it was eventually brought to America in the 16th century by Spanish explorers. Though commercial production of peaches in America didn't start until the 19th century. California is the leading producer of peaches in the United States. However, Georgia is known as the peach state. Some more facts from tonsofacts.com include that peaches and nectarines are considered the same species, even though they don't look like they have that much in common. They are, apparently. There are over 700 varieties of peaches. Peaches were pretty common in ancient Chinese writings way back in the 10th century BC. Peaches were also the preferred fruit of kings and emperors. Peaches are apparently known to reduce anxiety and are called the fruit of calmness. Personally, peach tea is one of my favorite types of tea. It has a very smooth and sweet taste. There's Pauline the Peach Girl, and time to look at the old and the new drawings. Here we have the original Parisa the Pear Girl, Charlize the Cherry Girl, and Pauline the Peach Girl. I remember drawing them in my living room in August of 2015. It was a while ago, and I had way more free time then. Okay, so to compare, here's the original and new Parisa the Pear Girl. I'm pretty sure when I redrew her with more of the research I did in mind. In both, she looks pretty tall, and I like the extra detail I got to put in her clothes and make her look more like a pear. Next up, the original and new Charlize the Cherry Girl. Charlize has now become 2 characters, Charlize and Chelsea. She had a pretty flowy dress in the original, so I tried to put more of the cherry elements as little jewelry and hair pieces, though now I really do like the young, round, and bright look of the newer ones. I personally like both designs of Pauline the Peach Girl. I think the newer design makes her look younger though. I kind of think she looks like the younger cousin of the original. She looks like she likes to socialize and hang out outside at parks and events. Okay, so here are all 3. Okay, well actually 4 redrawn fruit girls. I hope you enjoyed watching me personify these last few summer fruit as we jump into all things fall. From those beautiful fall colors, pies, boots, scarves, and those adorable tiny pumpkins you see outside of stores, to this cooler weather and Inktober, which by the way I've participated in for a few days and have posted about on Instagram. Oh yeah, also speaking of Instagram, for all of you who have been asking me about commissions, while I've been sick, I've been able to work on getting that process all set up, so you can expect more updates on that and commissions to be available soon. I hope you guys enjoy the change in weather and have a stellar day. Bye!